Welcome back to News Insight. Dele Momodu placed a very sincere call, open call across to our president. And I think it is something that the president has to look at and see how Nigerian democracy thrives. Hello, guys.
Good morning once again.
The other day, we discussed about how Pastor Bakari also spoke out. These are people that were very close. I think they should still be very close.
They should be very close.
Yes. These are his friends. And Dele Momodu and Asiwaju were in exile together for the purpose of democracy. For the purpose of democracy. We didn't just arrive here today. People fought for it, worked for it. And Asiwaju was also part of those that worked for the democracy. Dele Momodu is reminding him, you were pro-democratic. He made some certain statement that it wasn't coercion that brought you to power. It was God in some form. That coercion might not be what will take you there. How did you see his call across to Asiwaju to preserve democracy?
Okay, I don't think personally that the president is using coercion.
That's right.
I don't think so in any way. He may be playing politics, but he has not.
What he might describe as coercion.
Yes.
Might not be. In our last section,
yes.
you said Okowa might be seeking for a refuge.
Yes,
it's a financial. It's a little, how do you call it? It's a kind of coercion, but not physical coercion.
Even the president.
If you don't do this, we do this to you.
Even the president.
It's a negotiative. I don't know how to describe
even
that.
Even the president himself, right now, was tried to be coerced at a particular point by EFCC. He had a case with EFCC at a point, but he never decamped. So it's the character of the person, of the individual that matters. So I don't think the president is using coercion. Okay. That's my stance. Yeah. That's number one. Number two, what I would take from Dele Momodu is that he should be careful with those that are singing his praises right now, because they might not just mean it. It's because of what they would benefit right now.
Whose person's praise?
The president's praise.
Oh, okay, not Momodu's praise.
No, not Momodu's praise. No,
okay.
Those are singing the president's praise right now and trying to look as if they are decamping. What's the reason they are?
That's also what Dele Momodu also talked about that.
Yes, exactly. That's what I say. He said, you should be careful of these people. And he also spoke. He said, don't forget, you're a Democrat. Do you understand? And those principles are very, very good. And the fact that what brought you here, like you said before, was the hand of God, and you should always represent that.
I try to be careful when it comes to Asiwaju, because a lot of people have labeled me Abado Ita. They've labeled me that I have soft spot for Asiwaju. Maybe because I worked for him in some form when he was. I supported him very well in Lagos. First tenure, second tenure, and all that. I actually voted for him twice on those occasions, and we made sure at that time we worked to prevent PDP of then from taking over Lagos when they were taking over Ogunsho and all those everywhere. So we worked assiduously for him. We stopped Koroibo. So I still see Asiwaju in that way, and I do know that is how Dele Momodu is seeing him and letting him know that you need to have democracy survive. Do you think Asiwaju is playing any role? Whether directly or indirectly, to curtail democracy in Nigeria?
I feel so. He might not be directly involved. He has people working for him. He has lieutenants left and right working for him. They are doing a great job. This is a clear call from Dele Momodu. Once a presidential aspirant under PDP, a renowned publisher that has given this government, again, 2 years before speaking, has given them enough ample time. He spoke because of things that are currently happening. So don't turn this democracy into a dictatorship. Yes, don't turn. You are advocate or pro-democracy advocate. What has changed? What has this presidency make you to become? What have you turned into? Why there is such a squeeze on the opposition? See, Okowa did not just move. Okowa has been harassed severally by EFCC. Everyone wants soft landing. Is it coming directly from presidency? From president? I don't know. But his foot soldiers, they are pressurizing people. They are squeezing the opposition. They are forcing them to decamp. What he's saying, we need to preserve this our democracy. We should not become a one-party state. That's why he's trying to take a presidency. Forget these praise singers. They're not telling the truth. They're not telling how the feelings out there on the streets. Some say they're coming because of their good works. It's not true.
Okay, let me.
It's purely survival instinct.
Let me take you a little bit on Okowa because he has been using Okowa. Everybody knows him.
Yes.
You know, at least he was a vice presidential candidate to Atiku.
Yes.
So those not from that got to know him.
Yes.
That Okowa was the secretary to local government. Okowa was
Under PDP.
No, PDP hadn't come down. I think that was
Okay, that was NRC, SDP era.
Yeah, SDP. So I think it's SDP in particular. You know, so Okowa was a secretary to this local government. Okowa was local government chairman, and the what we call two local governments now were one local government that time, and he was the youngest local government chairman as at that time. Okowa was a commissioner. Okowa was secretary to state government. Okowa was a senator. Okowa was a governor. Twice. Even commissioner, I think twice. And only SG that he resigned to prepare for his Senate race, you know, after serving for about 3 years or thereabout. Okay, now, you see this Okowa, who, apart from SDP and later moved to PDP, has been in PDP in all this. You think that the force that moved him from PDP to APC is not a solace call. And if I say, oh, you are under fire, the only way you have peace is if you join me. Is that coaction or a condition that looks like it?
No, from what we know, it's not in the public domain.
Certainly.
That he was asked to join PDP,
Certainly.
APC. But I want to hinge on what Dele Momodu said. Okay. Dele Momodu said no politician now wants to go to prison or wants to fight. Their fight will take them to.
So if let's say Momodu is correct,
yes.
Let's just assume he's correct.
Yes.
If he's correct, and I say okay, prison for any reason, because I don't think Okowa has been tried.
Exactly.
Even what EFCC rolled out was a generic 1 trillion.
Which they wrote right for everybody.
How 1 trillion? You know, EFCC have a way of making this.
How much came to the state?
How much came to the state? So we are beginning to dislike the way EFCC handle their things. Yeah. Just a 1 trillion naira, $1 trillion. How?
All the work is
salary they're not paying. So it doesn't make sense actually. You have to have charge stolen by somebody. Before you say this is stolen, yes. And this is how you stole it. Yes. This is how it went. Yes. This money went here without work to back it up. Yes. You don't just say all the money that left government coffer, you come and bring. That's not that. So Okowa is not even facing that directly.
He's not even been charged to court.
He has not been charged to any court, so we don't know that. But what could be this force? What could be this attraction? Attraction is a force. What could be this attraction or whatever that really pushed Okowa in particular?
That's what I'm saying. The character of our.
You think Okowa didn't have character all this while?
Yes, because it was being smooth. No.
Ogbeni.
No, it was being smooth at a particular time. When Okowa was gone.
So you say fair weather politician.
That's what he's showing.
Not just see, but most of them.
That's what he's showing.
And I think I'll probably have to give you a small lending voice. Okowa has never lost any election.
Exactly.
Even the primary election he lost against Oduan was shrouded in and it was eventually arranged, and we decided to throw away the runoffs and all that. It wasn't very clear. So Okowa categorically has never lost any election. You understand? Even when he did primaries, there was primary they did at the time for the Senate, and had to rerun it again. He still won with a wider margin. He has really never lost any election known to us. This is probably the first time.
It's a test of character. If you are talking about it,
he's not able to handle failure.
The Senate president right now.
My brother.
my brother, that's how we're spoiling this country. Akpabio was a staunch PDP man. Akpabio said, I cannot stay in opposition. Yeah. As at the time Okowa Buhari came, that's when Okowa became governor.
So he was governor. They are guided.
He was guided. He was. Do you understand? He was sitting on his seat.
Okay, let me put this to you. You mentioned it before how Wike was calling Okowa a kind of traitor. I remember Keredelo being the chairman of the Southern Governors Forum, gathered people together, as a matter of fact, on invitation of Okowa, and there was something we called Asaba Accord.
Yes.
Asaba Accord came, and all the Southern governors, those that didn't come, were represented by their deputy vice president. I think one of them, but I don't have the direct the facts now. But they met in Asaba. That was towards 2023 election, and concluded that after Buhari, the presidential candidate must be from the south. That the level of our democracy today, we should be doing it south, north. When it comes to south, southern people will think which zones to go. When it goes to the north, northern people will think which zones among the three to go. But thereafter, immediately after calling them to go and start preparing to be president or whatever, Wike started, a lot of people started. Akeredolu was hinting it that any party that brings a northern candidate will lose. May he so rest in peace. Very courageous man. But Okowa went behind or against the resolution that happened in his own domain. He called for it and started going for being vice to Atiku. Do you think that's what brought him to this point?
That shows this kind of politics play in Nigeria. I think it's all about personal interests. Where my interests lies, that's why I follow. As I said, Okowa called for that meeting. If he had known that this offer would come, I don't think he would have called for that meeting. When the offer came, he weighed it, the South's interest and my personal interest. He chose his personal interest. And that is what brought the issues we're having in PDP. Yes, we'll be bashing Wike, but choose that PDP caused their own problem.
Yeah.
You have an internal structure that after north, south, after south, you move to swing those ways. So, not just at 8 years. So they should have allowed Southerners to battle it out. But they didn't. And they allowed Atiku to exploit it. What did he do? He said he would not contest, only if they're going to Southeast.
He didn't even say it openly. I don't have the record.
But I think...
They said they quoted. I don't have the record.
Yeah,
I don't have the record.
There's a speculation that's out there.
People say he said. We don't have the record where Atiku even said, oh, the presidency must come from Southeast. I don't.
Let's assume he did.
Let's assume.
It's an assumption that he did. That he would not contest. Yeah. But he doesn't have that right to even say that, because he has resolved to let Southern resolve that. So Okowa, as he said, all of them is all about survival instinct.
Okay, not in defense of Wike, not in defense of Wike. You know, it's easy to bash Wike, this, that. You see, and the reason people were giving was that Wike was also ready to be VP to Atiku, even at the dying minute after losing the primaries. But that he has contested at least. He has shown that, oh, the Southerners want this. Dele Momodu is, hitting president now. PDP collapse into another party didn't quite start from Asiwaju. I like the way you stood for Asiwaju. I allowed you. Because if I stand for Asiwaju again, they'll say, this man. I've had viewers bash me that, oh, he has source for Asiwaju. I said, no, not really. Atiku never respected issue of zoning. But Atiku left PDP to APC that Jonathan should not contest so that the North could take the balance of their time. Yeah. That was the reason Atiku didn't support Jonathan. But after 8 years tenure of Buhari, Atiku didn't think it is time for Southern. He still came into ticket. Now, PDP is in shambles and people are looking for where to go. Will you blame Asiwaju for accepting them?
No, not at all. But you see, if we want to discuss a lot of the PDP issues during the election, you can still ascribe a lot of those things to Wike. Okay. The argument was that it should go to the south, right? But primarily to the southeast. Because, hold on, there was an argument that the southwest has taken their portion, the south has taken their portion. Yeah. The only one that has not tasted it is the southeast.
Can I come in?
Hold on now. Let me finish the analogy. Yeah. Wike brought Secondus to be chairman of PDP. Yeah. Wike removed Secondus because of his ambition. Yeah. Wike went and brought this man from Benue to be chairman. Eyochayu. Now, when he brought Eyochayu now tended to the side of you see, when there's a crack on the wall, that's the only way the Agama lizard can come in. If not, there was a crack. That's where Okowa faulted Wike. That's where their disagreement came. And that's why Obi left PDP. You see, these things may not be written in black
they are
and
not
white,
written there, yeah.
but we also know what happened within their circle, and that's what caused what's his name, Atiku, to be able to come in. If not, Atiku was not in the equation, he would have left PDP
and go to any other party.
And PDP would have had a formidable force.
The extinction of PDP, which is almost imminent, is still has a voice. Maybe we'll talk about it. But George, a very old man, still calling about it. We'll talk about it in the next election, in next section. Let's concentrate on this Dele Momodu's. Let me read a few things he said before we round up. He said, my advice to him, which is Asiwaju, is simple. Uphold our democratic tenets. He's holding Asiwaju fully responsible.
Yes. Fully. And there's a reason.
Fully. Yeah.
Because they fought them for democracy.
Fully
together.
responsible.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't turn Nigeria into a democratic dictatorship. Unlike you are not holding him fully responsible.
No, I'm not.
Yeah. But
I'm
Dele
not.
Momodu is holding him.
I'm not. He's a politician.
He says, yeah. He said, no matter what happens, you were a pro-democracy advocate before becoming president. Please allow democracy to breathe. He believes Asiwaju is not allowing democracy to breathe. If not, I fear it may become a regrettable chapter in our nation's history. What is he fearful about? What could be regretted?
Port Harcourt, number
Be
one.
very quick.
You see what happened in Port Harcourt?
Yeah.
He removed an elected government and installed a sole administrator. Every other party in Nigeria is having a problem. Every other party is crumbling. Every other opposition voice is being suppressed. See, Asiwaju, when he had issues with Obasanjo, self-emergency was not declared in Lagos. Yes, we had issues, but you don't abuse executive power. He's trying to say this government is abusing executive power.
You believe Dele Momodu is just using this Asaba or Delta issue to really ventilate the entire democratic space?
To him here.
Yes.
So it's an opportunity for him to speak out. And then I encourage other well-being Nigerians to speak out. We don't speak because we hate Tinubu. We want Nigeria to work.
No, I don't think he hates Tinubu. Some of his advices were actually friendly. Look at this. He's even warning him to be kind of careful. So what would surprise me, he added, if President Tinubu truly believes these defections are happening because people love him or because he's doing exceptionally well, that's far from the truth. It's an advice to a friend and brother. You know, it is clear he focused on securing second term, but he must remember, God granted him the first tenure, not coaction.
Okay, can I bear in a little bit? In this particular time, I don't have anything to blame Tinubu about. For River State, I stand against his decision to put a sole administrator in River State. It's not acceptable. There's no way you can argue that in our constitution for military and for intruding in matters of River State is wrong. Absolutely. I'm a Democrat. I believe that what he did was wrong. But for him to peep into other parties, the other parties don't have strength of character.
Okay.
We have seen it. That's why I could enter into them.
I agree with you. Piro, your last word. 30 seconds.
As I said, please, President, let democracy breathe. Let us have vibrant opposition.
Okay, in general, I would not blame President for negotiating to enlarge his tentacles. That is what democracy is all about. It's all about numbers. If you want to join me, come. It is on Tinubu as the president to say, oh, you just came in newly. You're not going to be in the inner circle. Stay there, let's watch you for a while.
Twist me to
if you allow me, just one word.
Yeah.
The one word is that
Okay.
in recent time, let's give it to Tinubu.
Yeah.
He has not arrested any
Yeah.
member
That's
of
what I'm
opposition.
So now, when it comes to giving you a bait, come prison or go. There is no open case against Okowa other than that balloon case or balloon announcement.
Exactly.
You know, Nigerians are no longer, we're not interested in balloon announcement anymore. If you have a proper, you are so sure somebody stole something, the amount should be precise. If I stole that cup, you should know that I stole one cup. You won't say because there are 3 cups here, 3 cups taken away, you will not take the remaining 2. Or fine, that's not it. Tell people that there were 3 cups here, one cup was, it shows you have done your thorough investigation. We don't want lazy announcement because it's not helping us. Do you understand? Well, they are supposed to be intelligent officers. The announcement goes to Okowa, there's no court case anywhere. So we also can't conclude empirically that Tinubu is coercing him. That's our take. When it comes to character, you have spoken all you can say. I think probably losing as a vice president and investing much and probably losing for the first time is not going to be easy on anybody. Maybe he's reacting. We hope God holds him and he finds his footing. And also to know that you made a statement about quitting, something that sounds like quitting when the ovation is loudest.
Yes.
I think that was in our last section. You know, Okowa is not a failure today, even though he decides not to contest for any other election. He doesn't have to win again to leave.
The daughter is already in the house.
The daughter is.
Let him retire and go and be eating his money.
Yes. So we just hope God guides our data, God opposes our data, and we are in for the best. Thank you for hanging around. This is still News Insight. We'll be right back.